Anyway, let's continue.
Governor Kathy Hochul has said she expects to see an ironclad indictment soon and is adamant that Mangione, quote, return to face the consequences. Meanwhile, this morning, there's a new op-ed in the New York Times from the CEO of United Health Group, the parent company of UnitedHealthcare, titled, "The Healthcare System is Flawed, Let's Fix It." In it, he calls Brian Thompson a brilliant, kind man who is working to make healthcare better for everyone. He acknowledged the flaws in the healthcare system, but condemned the vitriol and threats against healthcare employees, saying, quote, while the healthcare system is not perfect, every corner of it is filled with people who try to do their best for those they serve.
I mean, one of the issues with the healthcare system is that the flaw may be at the very core of it. How can you have a profit-motivated system on top of something as necessary as people's healthcare?
And that's part of the op-ed, that it's he says no one person or no one designed this one system. It's a patchwork.
Yeah.
And so now it's time to fix it, while not, of course.
Yeah, it's fundamentally broken because profit should not exist. That's it. You cannot have inelastic demand and have profit at the same time. You cannot have the profit motive in a sector that has inelastic demand. And by the way, this is not just for healthcare. This is also for housing as well, just so you understand. This is my attitude. I have to make this very clear. That's it. So the notion that it's like, oh, it's imperfect, but we're trying our very best is silly. That's dumb. Not you. Sure, the system is broken, but if you want to be the CEO, you have to be willing to represent the corporation in every way. No, they do, and they get paid for it. They get paid to represent the corporation in every way. They get paid for those inhumane decisions that they sign off on. So no, I think it's fucking ridiculous when people go, oh, what the f? This is just a normal human being, just like you, just like me. I have a lot of charity for the average person who's just simply trying to exist. I have a lot of charity for the average person that's working in this corporation because like everyone is working ultimately, given the way that capitalism works, every single person is contributing to this fucking death machine. I work technically under an Amazon subsidiary. I am a contracted 1099 employee of one of the most brutal killing machines out there, Amazon. When virtually every single person is working for the brutal killing machine, then yeah, technically no one is. Having said that, however, and I have to repeat this position, like I don't think adventurism is the solution here. I don't think that like a direct violence against CEOs is going to solve this problem. I don't think so at all. But I think it's important to examine where this frustration is coming from. What leads someone to take this act? The reason why I cover the story in the way that I do is because this act of adventurism, given how heightened the contradictions are, has created this gap, this messaging gap between what the media is saying, what people in positions of power are saying, and how the average person feels about it. So it can be a spark that develops, at least to a certain degree, some semblance of class consciousness in the minds of a lot of Americans. And even if it doesn't, they still have been able to recognize who the real victims are in this situation, who the real pain dealers are in this situation. People are saying this young guy's a trust fund baby and the CEO came from a working class family. Yes, because they're trying to desperately reshape the narrative, okay? They're trying to desperately reshape the narrative in very meaningful ways, and I think they're still failing because you cannot get a person you cannot logic your way out of real human suffering. You cannot get a normal person, a Deborah or a Barbara or a Hank, living in middle America that has been fucked over by a giant for-profit healthcare company to go, oh, let's be reasonable about this. Like, they just don't care. At most, this is a moment for them to feel, some semblance of, oh, you got what was coming for you. You can't finger wag and try to reason with them. You can't just be like, oh, you feel good about this? Well, you're a bad guy. Dog, how can you honestly say that violence is not effective when we've seen more progress in the past week than we have since the Affordable Care Act? It's like how you say Israel has shown it only responds to violence. They've literally shown that, dude, I don't think you understand this, okay? Appalachian Soviet. First and foremost, this act of violence may have this act of violence in a vacuum would be completely meaningless. It's actually the public response to this act of violence that, in my opinion, has created a lot of fear, at the very least in C-suite executives, all in a variety of different sectors. Do you get it? I'm not saying that it has not been impactful. I'm simply stating that you have to recognize where that impact is. Because if this had happened and every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every Barbara, Deborah, and Hank turned around and was like, this is gross violence. How dare you? There is no place for vigilantism in American society. This is a wonderful CEO. And that could have very well been the case because of the American predisposition towards crime and punishment. Americans are very one note on this. They go, crime, I see crime, death penalty. This is a very draconian culture. You must understand. I still was very shocked to see the groundswell of support for Luigi Mangione even before they knew who he was, even before they knew what he looked like. They saw a guy in broad daylight dome a healthcare CEO and everyone was like, I know exactly what happened there. They didn't know a single damn thing. They had no information whatsoever. And they immediately were like, I know what happened. How could people be so united? How could people understand exactly what was going on without any of the details whatsoever? It's because American healthcare is so expansive, so ruthless, so brutal. For-profit healthcare in general is so awful that it has caused a universal suffering. It has universalized the pain. Every American knows at least one person or has at least in some way, shape, or form experienced this pain. Whether it is a massive fucking check that they have to pay in the aftermath of one of their most vulnerable moments, or something far worse than that, like an immediate family member dying. That is the reason why so many people, without knowing a single damn thing, recognize what the fuck was going on. Here, I'm going to show you something. There was a TikTok that I saw of me from a couple days prior, okay, when I was in England.
This morning, a frantic manhunt for the man authorities spotted on this survey.
So this dude, big homie over here, okay, Mr. CEO, walking up to his hotel. Oh, this one got like 1 million views. Having a dude, but this isn't the one. Hold on. Policing. Let's talk about this. Claim denial rates by insurance companies. Look, this is crazy. Look, United Health Group. We are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague, Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who work with him. We are working closely with the New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this difficult time. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who were close to him. 41,000 ha-has. Remember, this is happening. I'm covering this in real time as it had just happened. Only 2.2 thousand kind of sad crying faces. 42,000 ha-has. I'm sorry. Prior authorization is required for thoughts and prayers. 15,000 likes. Sending prior authorization, denied claims, collections, and prayers to his family. 16,000 likes. Was his trip to the ER really emergent? According to his own company, my husband's heart attack wasn't an emergency, and we were out $3,000, full deductible. 5,000 likes. Is crazy what my first thought was, and then I look at the comments and realize I'm not alone in my thoughts. 1,000 likes. I just can't find the care. Maybe if they ask for pre-approval of my care, then after they care. Like, this is just, wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find the other video. I guess I didn't like it. But I saw it. There was another TikTok where basically I was saying, once this person is found, okay, if he's also attractive and he has this like profound message, this is going to be devastating for a lot of CEOs. I said something along those lines, and I can't remember where that video is, but that was before we knew what the dude looked like. That was before we knew what his like actual motive was. We still don't fully know what his actual motive is. And look where we're at now. The reason why I'm remembering that is because I saw it and I thought I liked it and reposted it, but I guess I didn't. And it's, what do you call it? It's out there somewhere, but everybody was like, damn, this is so prophetic. It got deleted? No, I doubt it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's from my coverage. It's not, and this isn't for the self-glaze. The reason why I brought it up is not to be like, look how far ahead of the future I can see or whatever. The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm not a particularly intelligent person. I don't have the gift of foresight. I simply understood at that moment what everybody else understood, which is that this was a universal experience that people had had. And even if they didn't know what he looked like, or even if they didn't know who this person was, they immediately were like, I have been there. I have felt that anger and that frustration. And you cannot write that out. You cannot turn around and simply finger wag away the way people feel, you know? Exactly. It doesn't take a weatherman to look outside and see the weather. Oh, you found it here.
Overnight, the shooter seen here about 20 minutes before the shooting.
They're looking for a male about 5 feet.
Oh, this is the one, yeah.
Cream color.
Yo, by the way, don't get mad at me. I don't want to be like inappropriate here, but he looks kind of hot, dude. I cannot be the only person who immediately went, wow, clearly this guy has interesting style and also is kind of attractive, which is part of the reason why I thought if they catch him and he gets his message out and he's hot, it's going to be a far more consequential problem. They should let him go. Honestly, I'm not even joking when I say this. They should let him go, because if they catch him and they arrest him and then he gets to talk and says, this is why I did it, it's gonna be a Shinzo Abe situation. Fuck it. It already has become a Shinzo Abe situation. And that's actually the truly interesting part about this story. Yep, pre-watch. That is from December 5th. December 5th, 2024. This is before they saw all the other photos. This is before his face reveal happened. That was as it was happening. Yeah, no, this is before the face reveal. For those of you who don't understand the Shinzo Abe comparison, Shinzo Abe was assassinated. And once Japanese society understood what the motivations of the assassin were, they were like, oh, we agree with him. It was a real propaganda of the deed moment. This is even worse than that Shinzo Abe situation, specifically because it's even worse than the Shinzo Abe situation, because maybe a lot of Japanese people didn't realize that there was this Korean cult that had placed its tentacles in Japanese society, but they found out afterwards. And when they did, they were like, I don't like this. But virtually every single American has been fucked over by healthcare. In this circumstance, you didn't even need to know his motivations to recognize what it is, because people have a direct experience with this. They have a direct experience being wronged. And it's more consequential than being wronged, like that Ben Shapiro commentator said, being wronged by your barista up your order. When you're wronged by your for-profit healthcare company, you're wronged in a really meaningful way. In the best possible outcome, you're still tasked with paying a massive medical bill. In the worst possible outcome, you have an immediate family member who dies. So all of these guys that turn around and try to tell people like, you shouldn't feel some type of way about this, you're not going to be able to write articles that convince enough people, I think. The way people see it, maybe not directly, but indirectly, yeah, here's what happened, by the way. Japan's government asked the court to revoke the legal status of the Unification Church. So, like, they literally fulfilled the desires of the assassin in Japan.